Hello and welcome to Seattle City Makers. I'm your host, Jon Scholes. Welcome to our latest episode. I'm joined by Scott Mitchell, who heads up 5 West Coast stores, including Mario's here in downtown Seattle, for the retailer Mitchell's, which was started by his grandparents in 1958 out of an 800 square foot plumbing supply store in Connecticut. And over many decades, the company has grown to 10 stores across the country, including 5 brands, including Mario's here in Seattle and in Portland. Scott moved to Seattle with his wife and dogs just over a year ago, and he got his start in retail in New York City with stints at Abercrombie & Fitch, Eddie Bauer, and Ann Taylor before joining the family business in 1998. Scott and I discuss how the downtown store is doing, the state of retail in Seattle and across the nation, the unique aspects of working for a family business, his first job, his passion for his new adopted hometown of Seattle, and his perfect Saturday in Seattle. Hope you enjoy my conversation with Scott Mitchell. Well, thanks for making time for this.
My pleasure.
I'm gonna get close to this as instructed.
As instructed, close to the mic.
Yeah, that's important. Good audio, and these are important. So, first question: Have you embraced Mariner fever?
Well, yeah, I'm going to the game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah.
My first visit, I went to a Yankee game. Everyone else was at a Mariners game, but I went to the Yankee game. But now I'm going to the Mariners game.
Yeah. So you're
definitely.
You're a baseball fan. You're used to October baseball out where you came from.
What we do in the New York area, so it's great.
Yeah, it has felt like something. I mean, it's like the only thing people are talking about.
It is fun. But even also driving down, because we live not too far from UW, and so even just, I ride my bike down there and just a sea of purple.
Yeah.
It's real cool. And of course, I moved from one Husky state to another Husky state, so that was an easy one. So
this fun. Time of year we get spoiled, but we don't often get spoiled with October baseball. And
it's nice.
Oh boy, the psychology in this town is like,
it's great. It's great to see.
No one is working though. Like there's nothing getting
I'm working.
done. There's nothing getting done.
Came down last night, half my staff sitting around the TV. I'm like, guys, stay seated. Let me get you some beers. We'll watch the game. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, get some beers. It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We're winning. It's 6-3. We're winning. Let's do it.
It's good for us.
Yeah, it was good.
So you've been out this way for what, more than a year?
Just over a year. Came out the Tuesday after Labor Day a year ago.
And I know from the time we met in the store several months ago, you've loved it. And I was like, we need to wind you up and put you in front of like
people are great.
Every camera and reporter and just let you go about Seattle.
The Energizer Bunny, I guess. People are great. Food's amazing. Just being outside is terrific. Similar to New York, but so different in the sense that, 20 different little communities around Seattle, from Queen Anne to Broadmoor to Capitol Hill where we are, to Madison Park, to Alki. We've been to them all.
How'd you settle on Capitol Hill?
When you have 2 dogs and you want to rent in Seattle, we had 2 choices of a house, 2. One was nasty, and I'm not being snobby, it was nasty.
Yeah.
And this one, it's too big, we don't need it. It's 5 bedrooms. My kids live, they allow dogs, so that's where we ended up. Love the neighborhood. I walked to Zeke's last night. How cool is that?
Yeah.
15 minutes to work, 20 minutes to the airport. And like I said, in 15 minutes, I'm hooked up with the camper and off we go. So
you fully embrace the PNW with your Airstream and
loving
bikes
Seattle.
and kayaks.
Kayaks, bikes, fishing gear, everything. Dogs.
You're certified.
We're going. Certifiable, I'm sure. But the community is great. I looked at Seattle. We didn't make this move quickly. We looked over 2 years ago because I'm selling my house in Connecticut and moving my family out here. And it's a big deal. Traveling a lot for work. I went from 0 travel to on a plane, twice a month for a week each time. So we got to check it out. And I just see so many good things. And I see things that were worse, and now they're not. They're better. And business is terrific. We just finished our fiscal year for the company record year. Seattle up again.
Yeah.
Jewelry off the charts. Men's up, women's up. Portland also had a great year. 310, which is our store in south of Portland and Bridgeport, had a great year. So we're excited.
Pretty consistent across the country. You got 10 stores now, right?
10 stores, 9, but one's a bridal store. So it's 10.
Yeah, you're now in the bridal business.
First time in a long time, every store was green up. Our Palo Alto store, which we just doubled in size, it was crazy. It was up 66%. We planned it up 66%. So to hit the plan a year, how we came up with that number, I don't know. But Connecticut was up, New York was up, Oregon's up, Our store in Texas is up, our new store. So first time in a long time, it's rare, right? There's something in each local economy, something going on with the oil market in Texas, something going on with Wall Street in Connecticut. We're up. So we're excited. And the month trend is better than the 3-month trend is better than the 12-month trend. So that's all good. So knock on wood, we're going to keep doing what we do.
Yeah, that's terrific. And you all grew quite a bit over these last 4 or 5 years in acquiring additional stores and brands. And
the other thing is we usually do something about every 5 years. If you look at but with COVID, we did nothing. So if you think about that, we went almost 10 years with not much. We did Mario's. Then
that was in 2015, right?
No, Mario's was 10 years ago. Yeah, so 2015.
Yeah.
So you get to 2020, well, it's the middle of COVID. So to do 2 enormous projects, build a 25,000 square foot store in Palo Alto and buy a store that operates in a 50,000 square foot building in Texas.
Stanley
Korshak.
Yeah.
I mean,
big moves.
Nuts.
Yeah.
To do both of those in the same year, crazy. But great investments, great people, right? And we're, knock on wood, we keep going.
And what drew you out to lead the West Coast operations?
I think just to change. I mean, my dad retired.
So did you propose, hey, I want to get closer to our stores
I
on the West
managed
Coast?
our store in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And my dad retired a couple of years ago, and I've been saying for years, I don't want to be in one store my entire life and retire at 80. Like that would bore me. I loved it. I was really good at it. Biggest store in the company.
And you built the women's line there,
Yeah, I mean, we opened with
yeah.
nothing. I mean, I had a whole team. I don't take all the credit. I had cousins and uncles, parents, non-family colleagues, but we opened Richard's, the store now, with 0 women's and 0 jewelry and booming, right? It's been a heck of a run. Patsy, who was the woman who managed Mario's for Mario and then took over managing the managers of Wilkes-Bashford when we folded that all in, 2 years ago said, I'm thinking of retiring. All my friends have retired. I'm the social chair. I'm like, that could be a cool job. Instead of coaching the players, I'm coaching the coaches. So here we are a year later, and it went fast. Wow. But you still loving being here. And you can't beat October. Don't tell everyone in Seattle that the weather's nice. It rains all the time. The weather's terrible
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this has been an all right fall.
But guess what? Last fall, it did not rain September, October, November. And then it rained for 5 months.
Yeah.
But it snowed. Well, pick your direction. We get snow in both directions, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a skier, so that works.
You're at home.
Yep, exactly.
So your numbers are great. And in some ways it's surprising. I mean, maybe you haven't seen sort of the... You've said you've seen consistency across 10 stores and maybe not local headwinds, but there's certainly lots of kind of national uncertainty and tariffs and people, watching their wallet a little more closely. What do you attribute your success to in a variety of different markets?
So I think what's interesting, globally, luxury is hurting, right? The one shining star is the United States. The luxury market in the U.S. is booming. I mean, whether it's LVMH, whether it's Kering, pick a mono brand, in general, business is terrific. We don't know what's going on with the tariffs. Nobody knows what's going on with the tariffs. I don't think the people in charge of the tariffs know what's going on with the tariffs. How that all works out, I don't know. We've had price increases for years. I mean, gold's $4,000 an ounce now, and 10 years ago it was $2,000. So you just think, and yet an affluent client is still wanting great products, great services. I just think our trick is just trying to exceed expectations wherever we can. Not a new book, but it's something we've embraced. It's actually part of our strategic planning called Unreasonable Hospitality. So the guys at Canlis, right? Brian, his brother's running it, and Brian's on the book tour. Why? Brian was roommates with Will Garda, who wrote the book. They're roommates in college, and they both are running amazing restaurants. And it's just, my uncle wrote a book called Hug Your Customer. It's the same message. Love Will, great book. I happen to resonate with it, but my uncle wrote it years ago. I mean, Stanley Marcus wrote, Minding the Store. Just exceed people's expectations. His one metaphor, which I just love, is service is black and white. You got to get it right every time. You're going to, Canlis, or you're going to Butcher's Table, everything better be perfect. But the hospitality's in color. That's we're at a restaurant and my son doesn't eat steak, doesn't like the texture. I said, I noticed you have a hamburger on your lunch menu, but not your dinner menu. If we ever come back, it's not cheap to go to Butcher's Table for dinner. If we come back at dinner, could we order a hamburger for our son? So, Mr. Mitchell, of course you can order. Like it's that little stuff that just goes, You know what? We can do this. My daughter's best friend.
We want to take care of you.
Yeah, my daughter's best friend's gluten-free. Guess what? Gluten-free pasta. We'll take the breadcrumbs out of the mac and cheese, which, by the way, you know the connection, right? I mean, the Beecher's the same owner. They brought gluten-free mac and cheese. That's
that
the color.
First customer focus has been part of the DNA of the company since the founding in 1958.
Day one.
It was your grandmother was bringing the coffee maker into the store to
that's the culture.
Make coffee for customers.
Yep. And we hire for culture. I can teach people to sell a suit. I can teach people about jewelry. I can't teach someone to be nice. We actually get a kick out of making people feel great. That makes us feel great. It's selfish, but we're making someone else feel great, and that's what we do. P.S. We have the finest products in the world. Maybe not everything, right? There's brands I can't get. There's some years, some do well, some don't. New ones, old ones. But we're blessed. We have the finest product in the world and the greatest people in the world, and it comes together.
Do you think to be successful in retail today, post-pandemic versus pre-pandemic, particularly in a downtown, you've got to have a higher level of commitment to the customer experience and service and hospitality, or do you think it's always just been that way?
I think a little of both. I mean, you didn't survive to now if you hadn't figured out that people is what's important. I'm sorry. There are some brands that just, it's all about the brand. But there are still people that are involved in that. You've got to have both. And I think that commitment to, focusing on what's important to your client, doing it the best you possibly can, asking them, how do we do? I mean, we ask that all the time. Informally, they get a survey online. How did we do? Right? And I just think that's the game we're in. We happen to love it, And when someone challenges us to be better, we challenge each other to be better. Mario has a great expression. You don't have to be bad to be better. We say it all the time. Why? Because it's true. If you're an A student, to get to A+, that's 10 times harder than going from a D to a C. That's easy. That upper echelon of just tweaking it. We're now taking customers around the world on experiences that they can't buy anywhere. Going to showrooms, meeting owners of these companies, seeing product that's not offered everywhere, meeting designers, because most of them are family businesses. It's really special.
So you're offering these types of experiences to your
it's very simple.
Long-term dedicated customers and clients.
It could even be a brand new client. You want to go over the top, you get yourself there, we take care of everything. Paris, Milan, Florence, LA, New York. All my jewelers were in New York.
Fashion, travel.
Right?
Yeah.
Milan, fashion. Rome, fashion. Paris, fashion. LA, jewelers. Right? So it's fun.
It surprised me that you said the luxury market around the world is not great. In the U.S., it has been, even with a decline in international travel into markets like Seattle. I mean, the Chinese traveler and the growth there pre-pandemic was super strong. Not so much anymore with the flights that don't exist as much from mainland into the U.S. And we know Canadians aren't coming as often. And,
right.
But so this must be carried by domestic shoppers.
I would say yes. We still see a decent amount of Asian tourists in San Francisco, in Seattle. I mean, we have Mandarin and Cantonese speaking colleagues in our Palo Alto store. All the time she's walking by me and speaking a language which I don't speak. And so we're still seeing some of that. And I still think that affluent, people from all around the world are still coming to our, great cities. I'm sure you do it, being here on 2nd Avenue. Just walk to the market any day.
Yeah.
It's not you and me going to buy fish. I do. And I get the vegetables. And it's people from, just listen for 5 minutes. There's 6, 7 languages. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what turns me on about the city. I mean, the diversity, it's a hub, a working seaport. It's clean, it's healthy. The city's got a lot going for it. So
it's a pretty great mix.
Yeah. And that's my pitch. I mean, in all of our other places where we run stores, whether it's a city or suburban stores, malls in some cases, great other retailers that sell things that either we don't, or it's similar, but it's just a different vibe. I mean, we're not really edgy, right? We're not way out there with our men's fashion. We're just not. It's not our client. But having a high-end shop that's doing something else next to us, I love it. It's great.
Who would you want here? We've got a fair amount of vacant space. We have those challenges, and who would you want, and how do we get them?
anyone who is looking for an affluent client, if that's what you want to cater to with your service and your product, and of course your commitment to both, there is business to be had. I mean, I just go to any restaurant, look at the wine bottles that are being set down on the table. They're hundreds and higher. Watch the cars that are parking in all the parking lots. I mean, even the rinky-dink parking lot where I park across from work. Audi, BMW. Saw a couple of Bentleys the other day. Maseratis, Land Cruisers. So, wow, it looks like Greenwich, Connecticut, my own town. People work here. People come to play here. And I, again, not knowing much about the real estate market, there's a lot of empty stores. Empty stores cost more for an owner than someone who's in it not even paying rent. So go make a deal, find a store owner, get some fit up money, strike a good deal. I got to think those opportunities exist. And you're knowing that, just walk my neighborhood. Nordstrom, amazing business. The jewelers, amazing businesses. Us, Mario's, we're there. Right around the corner, Arc'teryx, Fall Raven. Just on and on it's not inexpensive stuff. So I just think the time could be really great for, why there's no Apple store in downtown? I know there's one up in University, but it can take me 40 minutes to get there. I can walk there some days faster than drive. Just not going. I ordered my new watch online for my wife for my birthday. Why there's not an Apple store downtown here? I couldn't tell you. Bring a car dealership down here like Manhattan does in a couple places.
The storefronts.
I just think there's a lot of opportunity for bigger national, international brands to come. And the clients are here. And you have all the people who live here, work here, and you have a huge tourist business. I see the Paramount just emptying out at nights sometimes on my way home. And I'm going, there's 3,000 people that are buying hotel rooms, plane tickets. Don't quite know about the customer base of a lot of the folks that visit the convention centers, just because I don't know if they're really here to shop versus they're actually working, but still it's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people a year coming to the city. They want to do something for fun. Yeah. So,
especially those local meatings that Amazon and Microsoft are hosting. Those are pretty great for downtown, and I imagine pretty great for retailers.
And I would say a shout out to them. I have their friends, their clients, some other stores, mentors of mine that sit on the boards of Apple, and they sit on the boards of Amazon, they sit on the boards of Microsoft. Same thing with Boeing. And, their commitment is huge. They're still here. They're going to work every day. They're running big businesses with tens of thousands of people amongst them. That's a big deal, and so bravo to them for keeping it up.
Yeah. And they've returned their meetings to the convention center, and we return their workers to the offices.
Yep, and exactly. I love seeing those badges.
Yeah. It's good for retail, good for downtown.
Yep.
Exactly. How did you get into the retail business? I know you, you had some other gigs before working for the family business.
Yeah. So growing up, my dad was an active alcoholic. He's 35 years sober, so I can say that very openly, and he's super open about it. So I was not going in the family business. You have to work outside 5 years before you come in anyways. I had done a couple of internships in advertising, thought I was going to love it, and then graduated college, didn't have a job. The advertising job that I got offered was $24,000, and Abercrombie & Fitch was going to pay me $29,000. Well, single, living with my then girlfriend, now wife, a dog. Did we have the dog yet? Maybe not.
Where were you living?
We were living in Brooklyn, New York, because she was going to Pratt. My relationship with my dad back then, not what it is now. He's my best friend, right? So I'm like, I'm taking the higher paid job. Quickly went to Eddie Bauer, 2.5 years. Then I went to Ann Taylor strategically because no one in my generation had done any women's. And the women's was booming. And that's what I did in Greenwich for 20 years was, manage women's department. So that's how I got in the business. I remember my brother Tyler once when I came home for a family dinner one night and had taken this job at Eddie Bauer. And Tyler goes, "Hey, Dad, if Scott's just going to work retail, how come he had to go to college?" Oh, my God. My dad was ready to strangle him. And I'm like, you little, I won't say it. I know we're on the radio. You little such and such. But that's how I got in the business. It really was just sort of luck. And, fell in love with jewelry, which has grown tremendously. Went back to school and got a degree in GIA. So now I know a lot about diamonds and gemstones and all those pretty things that sparkle. Actually don't know that much about clothes. I can tell you a little bit, but, there's others that know more. But that's how I got in. And when I joined, we had 2 stores Now we have 10. Holy cow. That's, 27 years later.
What's the best part? What's the most challenging part of working for a family company? And you've got 4 generations now, right? Involved.
The 4th generation is on. The most challenging is the work that we have to do to make sure we get along. We work really hard at it. Every Tuesday morning, we have a family meeting, and it's just family. And we have owners meetings that are just owners, because yes, I'm an owner and I work in the company. Some of the 4th generation, and my cousin Todd, who doesn't work in the family business, but he's an owner, we need to get along as owners. We have what's called a cousin consortium, those of us who just work in the business as family. That does not include my dad, my aunt, and my uncle, because they're kind of retired. My dad's retired, my uncle's retired, my Aunt Linda at 80, I won't say how old she is, but 80-something, she's still working. We work really hard to figure it out. We have 500 people relying on us to not screw it up. That's the hard part.
I read a quote too. It was like, if we're not getting along as a family, those 500 people aren't going to work together.
I mean, think of COVID, when it's like, okay, the world has gone to crap. We've closed. Payroll is this much a week. Well, we're going to run out in 18 weeks with no revenue. You bet you know what? We better figure out how to get along and make some decisions. Thank God we had a lot of smart people working with us. We have to get along. So we work really hard at that, and the results are great. It's a lot of work. That's the hardest. For me, that's the hardest part. I enjoy it because
How many people are in that Tuesday meeting?
So 3 of my cousins, Bob and Russ, who are the 2 co-CEOs of the company, and their brother Andrew, myself, my brother Chris, my brother Tyler, Lyle and Dana, who are Bob's kids. So the 2 4Gs, 4th generation that's in. And then my dad still comes to the Tuesday meeting. My aunt still comes to the Tuesday meeting, and my uncle. So that's 11. And so, that's the hard part. The fun part is people are our number one asset. The clothes are just secondary. All the product is just secondary. The people are amazing. Just think of the people we get. Our average tenure is 14 and a half years. So for the guy
sellers.
Yeah, for the whole company.
The whole company.
So for the guy that I just hired last week, I've got someone who's 30, right? Because 14 and a half times 2 is 29. So we have people there 20, 30, 40. We have people that have been there over 50 years. My dad was 58 years when he retired. Tulio, our tailor in Greenwich, is there 54. Jeff's at like 48. He's our manager in Greenwich. So I hang out with these people for some of them working, like, I'm 54. Like, you do the math. They've been there a long time,
So you got the family and then the family.
I mean, Mario's 70, mid-70s. Like, he was doing this before I was born. Pretty cool. Layer on top of that, the finest luxury products in the world. Almost all of them a family business. A few that aren't. I mean, Pomellato is a global company. Mm-hmm. Every other jeweler is a family business. Kwiat, Oscar, Heyman, Caroline Ellen, Temple, St. Hilaire, Nam, I could list. They're all families. Xenia, family. Isaiah, family. Santoni, family. Bontoni, family. You hear all the eyes are all Italians, right? Cucinelli, family.
Good people.
They're just, now not all of them are family, but most of them. Carolina Herrera. Okay, so Wes Gordon, who's her designer. His grandma grew up in Greenwich. Like, we know the guy. He has ties to one of our hometowns. Yeah, she's still around, and she's still the chairman. He's the president and the CEO, I think. We get to deal with all those people. Mm-hmm. And P.S., they crank out some of the nicest things in the world. And we're honored, blessed, privileged, jump up and down to present them to our clients, who are the coolest people ever. Every job you can imagine, kids, grandkids, they've had every problem issue under the sun as well. You want to talk about sobriety, you want to talk about cancer, you want to talk about, you name it. Why? We all have these experiences. We get to know these people, and it's just, it's awesome. We just love it. That's the fun. If you can't tell that that's the fun by my body language, that's the fun.
Yeah.
And so, and we do a pretty good job of work-life balance. We try not to have people work, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. There's times when some of us do. But we try and make sure we're doing the things we want to do to stay happy, stay healthy, and, keep going.
What's your take on kind of the state of retail nationally?
I think you have a lot of open real estate. I think that's a bummer.
You think we have too much retail space in the U.S.?
It's too much. I think there were, I saw it in Greenwich for years. I would see someone a new person come to town, an athletic company, let's just say, selling athletic clothes. And they, okay, but we've got this 3,000 square foot space, and we're gonna put a business plan together. We're gonna do, $1,800 a square foot. I'm like, well, your best performing store anywhere in the country does $600 a square foot. So how are you getting 3 times? And they just sign off on it. 10-year lease, 15-year lease, whatever. And all of a sudden, 5 years in, there's no sale. And it could be a great company. But I mean, there's a reason Starbucks is closing a lot of stores. I have the ultimate respect for Mr. Schultz. I mean, amazing, amazing guy. And his wife, they're friends. I mean, you shouldn't have a Starbucks across the street from another one. It doesn't work. I know it doesn't work because they're closing stores. I don't need to look at a P&L or a balance sheet to say, there's too many. You have to focus. Hundreds of stores for one brand, you're not making any money. It's the shell game of, rent, no rent, and who ends up losing? Either people lose their jobs, people lose their buildings, building owners lose their leases. It's just, I think there's too much. And so I don't have a perfect answer for it. I love the idea where you've got cities that, okay, we want more residential space. We've got all this empty commercial space. What do we do? San Francisco's going through that. I don't have the answer, but somebody should be able to figure that out. It's great to ride a boom, but the bust afterwards is never fun. We are evolution, not revolution. That's been us forever. Quote my cousin Bob. We're thoughtful. We think about it. Are we a little boring? Are we a little safe? Yeah. But knock on wood, we're still around since 1958. We're still here.
And you got more stores today than you did pre-COVID.
Yeah. And I remember when some of our competitors would come to Westport, Connecticut, come to our store, and then we'd hear them say, yeah, we don't have to worry about them. Gone and bankrupt. Like, they're not around anymore. Great names, not to be repeated, but great names. People in Boston, great names, not around anymore. People in Chicago, great names, not around anymore. People in New York City, great family names, not around anymore. And so I think, again, locally here, I just think there's opportunity. You've got a customer base, got to be able to figure out the real estate. And I see the city getting stronger. And I'm the new guy, but I've been looking at it very strategically for 2 years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
As the new guy who just sold a house in Connecticut, and I'm going to invest all that money here. It's not just I'm not just moving an asset. It's like, well, where's that market going to be in 5 or 10 years if I'm going to sell that house? Yeah. Let's say it's 10 years, right? I'll be 64 and maybe retiring. At some point, I'll want to, or maybe I stay forever. Who knows? You never know. But I think, I drove across the country. That was enlightening, right? You're driving from Connecticut to Seattle, across the top. You go through a lot of different states. You go through Minneapolis, it's just pristine. Like, everyone's house is, or the state of Minnesota rather, everyone's house, everyone's front yard, absolutely pristine. Drive through some states and it's like, wow, like, this is all leveraged big time. Everybody's house, everybody's toys, everything's leveraged, every 4 wheels, every 2 wheels. It's all leveraged up. It's like overextending. And, I think that's a challenge that we will hopefully work through. But that's the opportunity for others.
How have you all made decisions and approached acquisitions? It seems very thoughtful, deliberate, slow.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you have a process, a set of principles, a framework? And how do you do it with 11, 12 people that are helping to make that decision?
From 10,000 feet, we've never taken a vote in the history of the company. We don't vote. We're a consensus model. It doesn't mean that everybody gets along. But if 9 or 10 of the 11 get along, you can disagree in the Tuesday meeting. You leave that door, you sing the same hymn. I'm not bad-mouthing my cousins because I thought this deal was the worst, dumbest.
Disagree and commit.
And not just an acquisition. It could be the contest percentage we need to hit or what we're going to do with this person, or it could be any decision. So learning that you can have an opinion but don't expect your opinion to prevail, big one. We've worked really hard at that. We take every decision just thoughtfully. I mean, in our industry, there are only a finite number of people that do what we do, and their business is worth something, and they either have a family member that they want to pass it on to, kind of like what we're doing, right? My grandfather gave it to my dad and my dad and uncle to me and my cousins, and we're now giving it to the kids, and we have ownership in the fourth generation, or they got to sell it to somebody, which means somebody's got to have money to buy it.
Yep.
And that's either an equity firm? Is it a hedge fund? Is it a manager that saved up enough that can afford to take you out? Is it your competitor? And so we don't really compete with our friends who we've been able to acquire over the years. In fact, Sunday, we're hosting our forum group, which is 14, 15 family-owned men's and women's. It used to be just men's, then mostly now men's and women's clothing stores around the country, all independent. And we're in all different markets. Group's been around for 60, 70 years, long time. Texas, Pittsburgh, South Carolina, us. Mario's was part of that group. Stanley Korshak was part of that group. And we get together and we talk about what to do and what not to do. You learn sometimes about what not to do just as strongly as about, hey, this is a good idea. Wow, that's a really bad idea. But I think we approach them as a family. An outsider would probably say we talk about it too much. We go back and forth too much. But our results have proven that thoughtful, sometimes emotional, very data-based decision-making, that combination has served us well.
It's interesting to me, too, that you don't come in an acquisition and fly the Mitchell's flag over these brands. You sort of you stick with.
We're local. No one in Seattle knows who I was floored. Someone recognized my name at dinner the night, which embarrassed me because my wife's like, "Can we not talk about business at dinner?" I'm like, you're right. But no one knows or cares who the Mitchells are in Seattle. I don't care. There was one point where there was a discussion on changing the name of Richards, which we'd owned in Greenwich for, first of all, it's older than Mitchell's. It's been there 80 plus years. Mitchell's is only 67, whatever. We bought it at Richards. We built it at Richards. We built a new store as Richards. We grew it as Richards. I'm going to change the name. Our customers are going to think it's an ego trip. It's Richards. I was the first person. My last name's Mitchell, don't forget. Please don't ever change the name. It's Richards. It's a family institution in Greenwich. My business cards say Richards. My email says Richards. I am now ScottM@Marios.com. Mario's is an instant. If you walk the street with Mario, people stop him.
Yeah.
And he lives in Portland, for goodness sakes. They know him. It's way cool. So no, we're not. And we're not changing Stanley Korshak. It's a pain for the marketing department. I get, they got brown bags, we got orange bags. Okay. Maybe the economy of scale that you would gain from having one name. And we do lump it under Mitchell stores. It used to be Mitchell family stores. Who knows? We probably still use that from time. But Mario's is Mario's. Wilkes is Wilkes. Richards is Richards. And that's served us. We're local and we care locally. So,
Scott, we got a couple standard questions.
Fire away.
One is, what was your first job that you took a paycheck for? Was it in the world of retail or in something completely different?
So, my first entrepreneurial job in high school, I'm a cellist. I'm not anymore, but I still play. But I took the principal violinist, second violinist, viola, and myself. I was a junior. They were seniors from our youth orchestra, which was really good youth orchestra. And we formed a quartet. And this is like in the late 80s. We're getting paid $400 an hour to play music. Like weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs, Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. I'm like, just think what $100 in my pocket, right? Because 400 is very simple. I mean, like today, that's real money. That was insane. $400 an hour, you nuts? That's what we're paying. How long you want to book? Well, how about 2 hours? Great. Now, we would rehearse hours, but once you knew the music, you didn't play the same bat mitzvah.
You were finding some economy of scale. Yeah.
I could play Pachelbel's canon in my sleep, but for the cello, it's 8 notes over and over and over. I think it's 86 or 84, I should know, times. Double the number. It's 2 measures.
A little more than $1 a note.
It was great. So that was my first sort of entrepreneurial job. I was a sailing instructor, windsurfing instructor, the summer after my freshman year in college. That was really fun. Grew up in the business, of course. I mean, we used to get a penny a pin to pick the pins out of the carpet. And I'd go in on a Saturday and literally pick 100 pins out of the carpet and get $1. I was like 5 or 6. I was a kid. When you were like 9 or 10, you could walk around with a tray of sherry. We would pour booze back in those days too. Maybe when my dad's sober now. We'd pour booze and walk around the store and give it to people.
Customers.
Yeah. We give away booze now. It's because you don't need a liquor license to give it away. You just give it away. But so we grew up knowing the business, growing up, understanding what it was. But, sort of that entrepreneurial cello thing. But my first real have to show up for work was, and it was 7 a.m. I had to be up every day in the summer. And I'd get there early to...
This was the windsurfing
Yeah,
thing?
I'd have to...
Teaching somebody to windsurf sounds like the most frustrating.
It's the worst. It's absolutely... It's worse than teaching someone to ski, which if it's a kid, it's easy. But, I'd get there at like 6:30 in the morning, ride my bike down, like 10 miles, ride my bike, work till 3, 4, 5. Then we'd go sailing for a couple hours because it was windy in the afternoon. The southerly would fill in Long Island Sound. It was only 18, so there was no drinking. And I go home. It was a great summer.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I got paid, to do it. So I've had some different jobs. I said Eddie Bauer, Abercrombie & Fitch, Eddie Bauer, and Taylor. Those were fun. The advertising was great. Got to meet some fun people on some commercial shoots. But I'm lucky I ended up in retail. I'm good at it and I like it. And that's a big deal for me. To be able to do something I really like and to be good at it is kind of a win.
Are you a big shopper yourself? Do you like fashion? You like clothes, apparel?
I like nice clothes because I go to work in them. They're great. But like if you see me on a day off, I look homeless. My wife last Christmas gave me some Lululemon for Christmas. She's like, you look like shit on an airplane. Could you please wear some nicer clothes? Now I kind of like my Lululemon. I've been there once by myself to shop. But like, it's really nice. It's really nice sweats. And I don't look homeless. And, it doesn't have all the pockets that my Fall Raven shorts have, holes in them either. But no, I'm not a big shopper. I love activities. I mean, we ski, we windsurf, we scuba dive, we hike, we kayak. I love to fish. Time with my kids. We love to travel, love to eat, go to the gym, stuff like that.
You're in the right city.
Yeah, definitely am.
And it's a good segue to our final question, which is, what is your perfect Saturday in Seattle?
Well, I work every Saturday, I should say.
Okay.
Do Sunday.
We got to do Sunday. Yeah. With our industry guest, whether it's retail or food and beverage, we know to ask what's your perfect Sunday.
So there's a lot. We found an awesome church, Epiphany Church, up in on the eastern side. Love going there either for service in the morning or evensong, which is just an hour of music, which is just incredible. But we're outside with the dogs. We'll either hike to Volunteer Park, which is an easy hike, or like a 4-mile hike down and then back up 600 vertical feet to Washington Park down by the Denham. It could be kayaking out in Lake Washington. It could be mountain biking, whether it's just a rail trail with the dogs or go out to Snoqualmie and actually do some heavy duty downhill. In the wintertime, it's skiing, and again, it's 45 minutes to Snoqualmie to Alpental to ski. I ski 4 hours. I'm back home. We don't have to bring the dogs. Still go to church at night. We found some great restaurants. There's a wine bar in Madison Park, blanking on the name of it. It's Spanish tapas, absolutely fantastic. Single shot, love it.
Love single shot.
I said I've coming from New York. I mean, I think Butcher's Table is
some of the best. You mentioned they're getting some good pub on this
in the country.
Podcast.
Half shell down to market.
Yeah.
I mean, I've yet to find someone to cook a better piece of salmon other than my wife. I mean, we've been out. You're in Seattle. Salmon's great everywhere. Jay's sushi place also on Madison. It's just spectacular. I mean, I could go on and on. So, my staff gives me a hard time. They're like, you don't watch TV? I'm like, nah, not much. If I'm on an airplane, I'll watch my iPad for an hour. I don't sit and watch TV. We bought a TV 7-8 months ago. We hung it above the fireplace in the kitchen. We haven't turned it on. It just sits there. I said, maybe the kids will use it. We don't watch television. We go out. And we're just, out. Anytime outside is good time outside. We've been on, west to the peninsula, east to the Cascades, drove to Schweitzer to do some skiing. That was really cool. So for us, just getting out. Oh, I heard a new, from an interview from a young lady who now works with us, urban hiking. What the hell's urban hiking?
It sounds like you're doing it. You're going to Volunteer Park, right?
We just walk. I'm like, wow. And we do that now. We'll just, because now we're looking at houses too, but we drive to Queen Anne with the dogs. We walk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We drive to Magnolia with the dogs. And walk for 2 hours. Or we drive, where are the locks?
On Ballard?
Drive to Ballard.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. It's not sea lion. Yeah, the harbor seals are eating the salmon. The Native Americans are fishing this. I'm like, we just walk for hours.
Yeah.
So all of those things combined, we may not get to do all of them on the perfect metaphorical Saturday, but that's what goes into my perfect Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
And once in a while, I actually took this past Saturday off, took a nap. Oh, so awesome. I've been traveling all week. It was 12-hour days, and I'm like, I'm taking a nap.
Love a Saturday.
So once in a while.
Now. Just 25 minutes for me, but
I actually got a good hour. It was really good. So thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice to have people that come by with good news. And congrats on the success of the stores.
Bullish on Seattle.
Yeah, and love your enthusiasm and energy. And go M's. It's good to hear you've converted. I'm glad we're not facing your Yankees.
I hope I get the tickets. The only downside of the Yankees losing, my dad he's 82, was going to fly out and see him.
Was he really?
Now he's not.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. But you know what? He's coming to these meetings on Sunday, so I'm going to see him for 3 days, which would be great.
Nice.
But go Mariners.
Yeah, it's good for the city.
Go Mariners.
For sure. And hopefully good for retail.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, hope you enjoyed my conversation with Scott. Appreciate him coming over to join us on Seattle City Makers. And I'd just love to be able to bottle up his passion, take it on the road, and go out and point it in the direction of potential retailers who might be considering downtown. And I bet if we asked Scott, he'd come along with us, so we don't have to bottle up that passion. He'd probably just hitch a ride and go pitch downtown. There's not a guy who I think is more passionate about our city right now than Scott. So thanks for making time to come on the podcast. Want to close out with a recommendation of something you got to check out in downtown Seattle. And I've been hearing lots of great things about this recently opened restaurant. Embarrassed that I haven't been there myself just yet, but La Loba opened in May to a ton of buzz and fanfare over in the recently redone One Hotel over on Denny in Westlake, the former Pan Pacific, and it's getting tremendous raves and reviews. It's a Spanish restaurant, collaboration between James Beard Award nominee Oscar Amador and the One Hotel, thought of as a tapas place, but also have large plates, and highly recommend you check it out. I'm going to get over there myself here soon. 2125 Terry Avenue. Check them out, onehotels.com. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this episode of Seattle City Makers, presented by the Downtown Seattle Association, with support from James Cito and production by Thread Theory.